Good morning, everyone. Good morning, all the participants.
Good morning, sir. Yeah.
Once again, I'm heartily welcome Shri Lingala Naresh garu to the campus, this time virtually. So last year he visited our campus and delivered his insights on ecopreneurship. And we are very much fortunate that in your busy schedules, you accept our invitation to share your insights again to our students. Before going to start this session, I must introduce the today's speaker, Mr. Lingala Naresh garu. He is the currently founder and director at Tharunam. His background is he's an electrical engineer by education, but now he's serving as a full-time social engineer. Currently, he's serving as director at Tharunam, and actually the Tharunam is a non-profit organization working on a mission to use food as a medium for social change and make it universally accessible and affordable. In his words, I could say something that he always tells about that they have different level interventions to address climate and agriculture crisis. But they started with two interventions. One is food literacy and second one is agroforestry. This is the never-ending agrarian crisis and farmer suicide and creating lot of wrong perception about farming and also causing urban migrations. The massive farm dropouts, declining food production and growing population is pressing the need of crisis management plan for future. So, behalf of this Tharunam organization and Shri Lingala Naresh is in a mission developing such crisis management planning while enabling climate economy. And his other interests includes cross-domain research for youth and entrepreneurship. With this, I would like to hand over this session to Shri Naresh garu to deliver his insights sessions to our students and other participants.
Yeah. Firstly, thank you very much, sir. I am really missing the campus. Last time I was there, I was there for 2 days, and I really understand what exactly food literacy is. I'm really happy about the hospitality and food at the campus. So, to be honest, I'm missing the campus this time, but I'm very happy to interact with people. So, and I feel very glad whenever I got invitation from Vishnu Institute of Technology. I think in 2019 I got my first invitation. Still, of course, let me tell you, still we are a startup, but and non-profit startup, believing on ideas, and we are a resource in organization. I mean, like we advocate for policy level changes and we advocate for behavioral changes. So, still Vishnu Institute of Technology is showing that love on us and inviting to interact with students. So that is something I always keep that in mind. And another part is it's always very energetic to interact with engineering students as well, because myself I'm an engineer, so I know how much energy we have, and we are engineers in the very some bad times. I mean, people are telling us that engineering is no more, engineering is no career. We are living in that timings. So let me just give the brief about what exactly we are going to know in today's session. This we are going to know about three things. Number one is why engineering and why innovation, and number two, what we do at Tharunam, and number three, what does food literacy mean for agro innovation skills. So just let me come to the point. Number one, what exactly engineering is about and why innovation is possible through engineering. So let me just keep that point in mind. Probably after 2010, there is a very wrong perception about engineering as well. People call there's no opportunities in engineering. Is that true? Dear friends, just think, just let me take you to 30 to 40 years back. Just before industrial revolution, people used to live in only one or two worlds. Basically, they used to live as a communities within their villages or within their circles. Or another world is spiritual world. But just look at the world where we are living now. We created internet and we created several other worlds parallelly. Let me tell you, physically we are living at certain place, and number two, we created internet and we created virtual world. It became very parallel to the physical world. And number three, spiritual world is there. And number four, we are dreaming for interplanetary future. That's what, right? The world richest person is dreaming about that interplanetary thing. So just look at the opportunities. When we live in one world, there is an opportunity for engineers, and now we created parallelly four worlds. It means we are enabling opportunities in the four worlds. Yes, that is true. So here the main we would like to understand that um, we have to understand what happening in the plan, what happening across the world to think about innovation. Let me tell you that point also. See, once when it is a physical world, the innovations are just for the physical world. And when after we entered in virtual world, we created parallel world and we spend the equal time in the physical world. Most of us spending in virtual world. So due to this parallel world living across the domains, there is so much complexity in our life, whether it is coming to anxiety levels of the people, or whether it coming to food habits, whether it is coming to innovations. So we have to understand how we can permutations and combination of such diversity within the living worlds where we are right now, and think about the innovation. And let me come to the other point, like why innovation and why engineer especially. Because we have that hacking nature, we want to just break it any problem and understand. But what is lacking is about understanding the behavioral changes of the people. Let me tell you, behavioral changes are something which actually dictate the market. A very good example is Microsoft Teams, what we are using right now. I think pre-corona, pre-COVID, there is no virtual workspaces, there is no scope for virtual workspaces. But post-COVID, we actually, due to that behavioral changes, we need safety, we want to work from home. That's the biggest behavioral change came into the people, and we are searching for virtual workspaces. Then Microsoft Teams, Zoom, and even I think Cisco's WebEx is something, another platform. They started growing. So another one is about safety. When we consider the safety, hygiene market is growing. So here, just I want to put that point again. We are living in very parallel and very complex world. There is no, there is a huge scope for opportunities for engineers, but the key point is understanding the behavioral patterns while we are living in parallel worlds. Just that's a clear outcome we have to understand. Am I clear so far with this particular topic about, yeah? Am I going too fast, or just I want to listen, so I can slow down a little bit if I want to.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So here, majorly, I want to put that point, and I want to press that point again. There is enough opportunities for engineers in 21st century, but the thing is to understand what is the where we are living, how complexified we are, and what is the behavioral changes coming across our lifestyle. So that is a key point we have to take from the first topic about why engineer and why innovation. Yeah, just let me come to the second topic. What we do exactly at Tharunam. So as Mahbub sir, Hussain sir was mentioned about Tharunam is a non-profit initiative. Yes, we are a non-profit initiative. We started it in 2017 after I graduated from international fellowship called Kantari. It is in Kerala. So I got an opportunity to pursue my fellowship there, and that's a leadership for social change. That is a fellowship. So after that fellowship, I was I started initiative called Tharunam. So in beginning there was a big question: what exactly Tharunam, and what exactly Tharunam want to do. So see, we want to address climate and agriculture crisis. That is okay, but how we are going to do that? Then we come up with a tool. It's a copyrighted tool to understand innovation we need to understand three factors. That's called I3 tool: intervention, innovation, incorporation. Just let me put that tool again: intervention, innovation, incorporation. This is a tool which helped me to understand what we have to do in particular domain. For example, if we want to just see, intervention is something which talks about behavioral changes of the people. For example, we talk about hygienic sanitation. Yeah, hygienic sanitation is the slogan. That is the intervention. So NGOs, non-profits, government, they actually do for that intervention. When they start that intervention, there is a innovation opportunities. So they are saying just get the hygienic sanitation. Yeah, hygienic sanitation won't just comes with the what we say slogan. It need to be, there should be something innovative tools should come. Let me tell you one example. One startup in Hyderabad, they said government is proposing hygienic sanitation. So let me just come up with the waterless and odorless urinals. They did huge research and development work, and they come up with waterless and odorless urinals. So they, their objectives actually aligned with the slogan, hygienic sanitation. And innovation is not enough. Incorporation also is very important for sustainability. So whenever we want to do something, whenever we want to innovate something, we have to understand the I3 formula, I3 tool: intervention, innovation, incorporation, where we are exactly. So before we start that, we need to understand that. And let me come to the what tharunam exactly do. I was wondering like which I have to choose from the I3. So then I thought, probably I can start as an intervention. We can start as an intervention. So tharunam is started as an intervention organization. So we majorly we advocate for policy level changes and behavioral changes. So then we thought, what could be the potential tool for intervention, advocating intervention? Then we thought food literacy could be a potential tool, because food literacy is something which is going to impact all the domains of the engineering or all the domains of people. So let me tell you, so far whatever we are eating in the plate is just maybe roughly 5 to 6 food items. Yeah, but maybe rice, wheat, a few more. We may eat around 10 food items. But do you know what? There are around 35,000, more than 35. I'm not quoting exactly figure, but more than 35,000 edible foods we can eat on the planet. So if our main objectives was, if we could enable, if we could make people to understand the food diversity, then is a equal, there is a value chain for each food item. Just say rice, just take rice. So when we started promoting rice, first one is seed industry grown, then there is a millers, processing machines and machinery. So like every food has their own value chain. The same way, if we could bring 30,000 food, if we could make people to understand, we need to eat diversity, then there is a value chain for 30,000 food items. See, just say whatever we see or whatever we see in our computer screensavers also is a plain lands filled with rice or wheat or something. But actually that's not the sustainability. The sustainability comes from diversity of the crops. So just imagine if farmers started growing diversified food in the farm, we need a new machinery to harvest it. We need a new machinery to process it. And just let me say, I'm saying whatever culinary we are eating right now, it's all about permutation and combination of 9 food items, yeah, 10 food items. But what if 30,000 food items started growing on the planet and people started eating different places? So there is a culinary opportunities also. So a single intervention could enable entire the value chains. So we thought, it's a better from our own strengths. We thought we're good at advocating for such food literacy, and we started advocating for food literacy. And let me tell you, second point, what food literacy will do for the country. We all have backup plan, a crisis management plan for our mobiles and laptops. But we as a nation, 1.5 billion people about to come, and if we don't have that backup plan, it's going to be mess. Even the peace is not going to happen if we cannot have that food backup plan. So what could be the potential backup plan? We thought if everyone knows to grow their own food as a skill. I'm not saying everyone should become a farmer, but everyone should know how to grow their own food and understand its impact on health, environment, and economy. That's what we are calling as a food literacy. If everyone became a food literate, that's automatically we become a backup plan for the country. So that's the second big motivation we are looking for. And third one, if we are promoting for food literacy, I have to tell this point because we can address the gender issues. See, if we look at the movies or if we look at any cultural investment, what happened on us, we show or we portray women as women always in the kitchen. They are responsible for food making. But that's not true. So everyone, we all eat. So definitely we all have to make it. So if you want to break the gender stereotypes, food literacy is a potential solution. If, where we can address people, we can put a seed of gender equality among children from the very beginning days. And let me tell you, what is where the languages evolved, how the language evolved. The language evolved from the food. Actually, it's from the culture. The place culture known by food. I know when we came to Vishnu Institute of Technology, I was so much impressed with the food. I'm so happy with the food. So there is a food diversity we can see. So that reflects the culture. So a culture, language, and enabling new agri innovations and enabling gender sensitization. This all happened through food literacy. So then we thought it's a better option to start as a food literacy. That's one. And number two, let me come to the another point where we actually doing the farming intervention. We are very about to start from the March, hopefully. I come from a place, it's a Bhadrachalam district. And within Bhadrachalam district, always we can see there's a tribal conflicts over the forest lands. It's not only in Bhadrachalam, it is in most of the places across the country. There is a conflict for the land due to forest land, especially for tribal and government and among the tribals. So then we thought, what could be the potential solution to address such issues? Then we came up with the intervention called agroforestry. And agroforestry is about growing different type of horticulture crops together. So just let me tell the example from the forest. If we look at the forest, can we see only one or two type of foods? Probably not. The forest is a very diversified farm where we can see different type of farms. There are big trees, medium ones, short ones, root food, creeper. The same formula applicable for the horticulture also, where we can grow different type of trees together. So we took that concept and we want to implement it in tribal conflict areas for the peace resolution. See, what government want from the tribals? Government want to grow the forest. But growing billions of trees which won't give any yield, I think it's not creating any socio-economic impact. But if we could encourage tribals to adopt agroforestry, where they can get fruits, fruits in the sense income, and we are doing afforestation, and we are doing peace resolution. So in that motive and that broad perspective, we started Tharunam, where we are advocating for different social changes through food as a medium. And let me again recall what we just discussed so far. The first one is about engineering and why engineering never die. Engineering opportunities never die because we living in a very, very parallel worlds. It's not one world. It's just almost 4 worlds. So there is enough opportunity for all the engineers. And number two, we at Tharunam, we are advocating food as a medium for social change to address several problems. I was telling like how it will enable several opportunities. And let me go to the third topic. What does exactly the key topic? What does food literacy exactly mean for agro innovation? So, very simple example I was telling a few minutes ago as well. So, if we eat only 5 to 4 to 5 types of food items. There is a value chain for only 4 to 5 food items. So we are limiting our opportunities. If we are limiting number of crops grown in our area, means we are limiting number of food value chains, evolving food value chains in our place. So just imagine if all the food value chains, diversified food value chains, there is enough opportunities for that. So let me tell from the very simple story. There are few case studies. We used to do the experimentation. We used to follow up. So one is about fresh paper. Just remember the name of the fresh paper. Kavita Shukla is the founder of fresh paper. Her story is very interesting. She came from America. She came from USA, and she used to roam around streets in India, and she liked the pani puri, goligappa, and she had that. And due to this hand microbes, bacteria from place to place, definitely even if we go to different place and have food for first time, we feel stomach pain due to some microbes or bacteria on our hand. So she started feeling stomach ache, and she didn't tell to anyone, and she was using some medicine. That's what available story. So then one day her grandmother asked her, are you suffering from any stomach pains? So she said yes. Then she gave her some, in Telugu, mentulu. Yeah, she gave some kitchen stuff to her to have the food. So then she had that food, and she was amazed. Even though she didn't, her stomach pain was not cured due to medicine, but it was cured due to that stuff, kitchen stuff. Then she started experimenting what exactly in that. So she identified there are some good microbes. There are some good microbes which can prevent stomach ache, which are antioxidants for body. So that particular incident, the stomach pain was not cured due to medicine, but it was cured due to, she's a nanotechnology student, kitchen stuff. She started researching further, and she developed a paper called fresh paper. There are some good which has that nano cells of that particular kitchen stuff, and due to that paper, the food shell life is increasing. I mean, if you keep some food on that paper, the shell life is increasing for 3 to 4 days. It means a small food literacy knowledge, what is in that food, and made her, according to, I don't know exactly figures about her valuation, but it is a well-known company across the world. She got several recognitions. So that's one example. And let me tell the second case story. The second case story is about cactus leather. Probably that was a video, it was roaming in social media from last few days. Cactus leather. See, when it comes to the leather industry, basically the leather industry depends on the animals. But there are people, they thought they don't want to see animals will be killed for the leather. So they started thinking like, what should be the replacement for that leather? Then, slowly they started identifying cactus. Let me use that Telugu word. Manamandaramo Nagajamudu Brahmajamudu antamu. So that is a particular family of the plants which are available in every village. But we never wondered like we never actually questioned what we can do with that. But there are two brothers from Mexico. They started identifying there is some fibers within that cactus which can be a replacement for the leather. So they, that particular knowledge about the plant made them to identify alternative vegan leather for the animal leather. So now it is a big company. So they are selling the same price of the animal leather. And here, see, while growing cactus, actually cactus is something which we give as a feed for the animals. It is a very old practice. Even in villages, people give that cactus pieces as a food for the cows or buffaloes. So when the same idea, which actually motivated them to identify what is inside of that. So they identified fibers and they made the fiber, leather out of it. And they started a company called Decepto. It's one of the famous companies for vegan leather. One and only company, not famous. They have a patent on that. And let me come to the another point about cellulose nanofibers. Hopefully very soon you guys are going to witness the power of cellulose nanofibers. So there is a research in Japan. Actually, Japan research theses are always interesting. They identified wood pulp wood pulp could be a potential alternative for aluminum in the automobile and space technology. They identified there are some cellulose nanofiber structures within the wood fibers or wood pulp have more stronger than aluminum and the same time lighter than aluminum. See, this is the same incident we know from our old people. Let me tell you the very good example how we know that. See, I want to use a particular Telugu incident. Everyone see, olden days, we used to see the homes which was built with wood. Yeah, but even though we put wood in the soil, it used to stay for, I think, decades. It's not for years. So we never questioned like how that particular wood is staying in that hard conditions. But that made one guy in Japan, few researchers in Japan, curious to identify what is in it. So they started researching and they identified cellulose nanofiber structures where we can replace aluminum in automobile industry, lighter weight. So of course lighter weight in the sense more mileage. So that's another example. And we have one more case study for you guys. It's about banana fibers. If you see, most of us come from a river basin area, so we can see a lot of banana. So there is one very young guy. He's around 20, he's in 20s. He used to grow in his farm, his family farm, and his family used to grow banana plants. So in banana farming, there is a big issue with tree replantations and the waste management with the banana, how it farmed. So he was curious and he started understanding what is in it. So he identified there is a fibers in banana stem or banana leaf, which could be a potential textile, which could be a potential replacement for the textile in the cotton in the textile industry, and which could be a potential solution for even there is several what we call kites. Yeah, so he is now started his project called Tenith Innovations. You guys could search it in the internet. Tenith Innovations is intensively working for fiber out of banana. So what is the reason for main reason for telling this particular stories are, see, a particular knowledge about particular food is enabling a brand new opportunity. So that's what the key point is. So if we became a food literate, definitely every plant has some specialty, every food has some specialty. So definitely that could become a potential your next venture. Who knows that? See, if we could bring a new food and someone is going to grow that, that's a one solution. Someone is going to process that and someone is going to cook that and someone is going to sell that. So you are creating opportunities, you are creating employment through that food. And let me say the missionary part, whatever we saw so far missionary, let me take that rice harvesting machine. It's only designed for only harvesting the rice because we promoted rice as a monocrop. But just imagine if we could, there are several methods. Rice can grow with fish. So if that comes to the market, so the brand new innovation may come. So these are just ideas, just I want to put that. And I would like to highlight again what we know so far. And I want to conclude by explaining that i3 tool, that is something copyrighted by Ecopreneur Venture. So let me just recall what we discussed so far. And let me put that tool in last. So a parallel world has unlimited opportunities. So just look at the behaviors, what behaviors happening in the market and what is the innovations may require. Just say another example about climate economy. Yeah. So one person from Switzerland, one person from Europe mentioned about climate change few decades ago. Nobody cared on that time. But over the time, people started realizing the consequences of climate change. So what climate change bring? See, if you want, we used the carbon, we took the carbon out from the soil, we burned it, we emitted carbon emissions. So the solution, the potential solution will be observing the carbon or avoiding the carbon. So that is something that behavior gave the scope for new innovations. So it is where the solution about climate economy came and ecopreneurship evolved. So solar came into the market by saying we want to cut down the carbon emission. So that is the biggest solution. And as per World Resource Institute reports, climate economy, only to address climate change alone is $26 trillion business opportunity. So, but here the question is like, how much we aware about that particular topic? See, if you don't know about climate change, what is your solution for that? So if you don't aware about what agriculture crisis is, what you are going to propose a solution? So I was, I'm very happy last time when I came to Vishnu Institute of Technology, Hussain sir was telling me about one sensor which could be a potential solution to prevent fish wastage in transport. You know, that's the biggest ecopreneurship model. See, they concerned about food, they concerned about food wastage. They don't want food to get wasted. They don't want farmer get hurted what they grown. So they started developing a sensor that is going to be, you know, revolutionize food transport market. So my key suggestion or my key, you know, idea was, please get aware of what is happening in the market. So being an engineer, sometimes we think we no need to understand what is happening, you know, in the other market or other domain. But we are living in a century where everything is interconnected, and the future innovations or future whatever is going to evolve is going to come from that complex domain knowledge. So let me say, if just imagine, this is called precision farming technologies. So there is a satellite mapping about the farming, satellite mapping about the farms, where how farms are going to grow, what is the pest may come, what is the water, what does water shortage at certain point. So this is all related with data technology. In future, who knows? See, whatever we seen as a development so far, it's all about connecting the people. Yeah. When connected the people, internet evolved. When connecting the people opinion, Facebook evolved. When people concerned about what they want to share, Twitter evolved. So just whatever you want to look, just look at the development perspective. See, people want to live together. Real estate evolved. Community buildings evolved. So that's how, so far, it's all about connecting people. But unfortunately, while we are trying to connect with each other, we disconnected with the nature. That's the truth. Almost 1 million, you know, living beings are going to extinct in this particular decade. So while we are, yeah. So is there any question or something?
Like question and answers will be taken at the end of the session. Please be waiting.
Yeah.
Please carry on,
Yes.
Naresh.
Yeah, sir. Thank you. And hope, sir, 1 second, just I want to know, like, am I audible enough, my voice?
Yes, everything is okay.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So, whatever we called as development so far, it's all about connecting people. Just imagine connecting people opened this many opportunities, because we have 7 billion people. So while people trying to connect each other, while people want to share their thoughts, that became a behavioral analytics, that became a data industry, that became a, see, just connecting people could open gates for so many opportunities. Just imagine, these 7 billion people are going to reconnect with nature. Nature has so many elements. For example, the virus what we are experiencing now, coronavirus, it's only one of the viruses which exist on the planet. There are several viruses, there are several animals, there are several plants. Just imagine the possibilities if 7 billion people are going to reconnect with these billions of elements. Nobody knows what opportunity is going to come. So here the entire innovation is going to be unknown. Nobody knows. Even I don't know, you don't know what is going to come. So let me tell another beautiful example called Wood Wide Web. We all know about World Wide Web, but just think about Wood Wide Web. Wood Wide Web is something where plants, researchers identified plants are talking to each other. Plants are sharing the information. So we thought our, we thought whatever we know about plants, we thought, they are just the plants, they give the food, but they have another world under our feet. They are talking each other, they are sharing the information. Even they have the crisis management mechanism within the plants. So they have internet much before than human beings. So they identified there is a topic called Wood Wide Web, where one fungi is going to just communicate with plant to plant. If there is any enemy comes to one plant, I mean enemy in the sense pest attack, automatically that fungi will send that information to other plants, and these other plants are going to have develop autoimmune system. So like there are several other topics we have to know. So it is 21st century is just begin. The key takeaway would be understand where we are and understanding about the food literacy skill, how to grow your food for yourself, and understand how it is going to impact environment, health, and economy. So I can talk for a while, but I want to just answer if there is any questions. I will be happy to do that. I'm just talking like a monologue. I want to make it little interactive. So anyone want to ask any questions?
Guys, if you have any questions, please carry on.
Yeah, I think there was 2 hands or 3 hands raised.
Yes.
Yeah, feel free. I'm also a student, so. Yeah, so if nobody want to ask the question, let me go ahead. So as part of, while we are advocating for food literacy, we identified several social change frameworks which can be done through food literacy. And very recently, I'm just a contributor for one of the venture. It's called Ecopreneur, theecopreneur.in. It's a dedicated online portal to bring the green stories and the green economy opportunities, green innovation. So please guys, please do check theecopreneur.in for if you want to get more information on green innovation, what is happening across ourselves. So let me go through another topic about opportunities with food literacy. Very recently, there is one guy. He started a project to help elderly people to grow their own food, and he's calling it is the elderly care through food literacy, food as a social change. So it became a United Nations framework for advocating for social change. For example, here when they are growing their own food, they are going to be healthy, they are going to be nutritious, and there is one microbe in the soil called vaci. There is a microbe called vaci. This vaci is going to make people happy. If you touch the soil, you feel happy. So just I am telling that fact. But why children love to play with soil is, if it's the healthy soil, there is a microbe called vaci which is going to make people happy. So when he started the project, when he want to work with the elderly people with the growing food, he's going to make them happy, is going to make them healthy. So see, this is another opportunity that became a UN framework. And another example is that there is another guy who is empowering intellectual disabled people through food. He is going to he's advocating for food. He's advocating for food literacy for the elderly people, intellectual disabled people. When they started growing food, he started identifying there is some change in their thought process. So like that, there are several, I think hundreds of stories about how food is going to be a potential tool. Yeah, I think, sir, I'm almost done with the most of the content. I thought I gone a little bit fast. So do you want me to continue for further another topic about ecopreneurship? Maybe I will go with that. Hello, sir. Okay, let me. I want to give the brief about I3 tool, and then I will conclude with the ecopreneurship topic. Yeah. So just I wanna give the very powerful tool. I wanna talk about the powerful tool called I3. I3 is about intervention, innovation, and incorporation. Please understanding the behavioral changes. So where you can get that behavioral changes. So only behavioral changes decide the market. Please remember that point. If you can't understand what people are thinking and if you cannot realize what people are expecting, you are not going to innovate or you are not going to incorporate anything. See, for example, when Corona came, hygiene, safety, virtual workspace, people became more anxiety about working lifestyle. So that is a behavioral change. So this behavioral changes opened gates for several opportunities. So where you could get that behavioral changes? If you want to understand the behavioral changes, there are few digital tools which could make you understand in your field. One is Google Analytics or Google Trending being trending. These are some websites which is going to give the data about what is happening in the particular industry. So you can understand the behavioral patterns, how people are thinking. So based on that behavioral changes, you can plan even Twitter trending. These are some trending platforms where you can understand how people are thinking and what is going to happen. So what is the next step? You understanding the behavioral pattern in I3 tool. The second is about innovation. So you understood people want this or people don't want this. So what you are going to do when you understanding the intervention, what is happening, then you will come with the innovation. For example, let me tell that point, compound chemicals in sanitary pads. So here, why should we worry about that concept? Many people, feel shy to talk about that, but I'm very proud to talk about that, about sustainable menstruation for women, because the compound chemicals, whatever using in sanitary pads, are very, volatile compounds, phthalates. They're actually literally causing cancer for women. So are we going to kill our next generation, womb of the next generation? Are we going to kill our own country with the compound chemical? So definitely there should be a question on that compound chemical and there should be alternative. Then when that intervention, people started talking about sustainable menstruation in India, there is an alternative called, there are several alternatives came, they are available in the market. So if there is no one to advocate and there is no one to intervene in that particular topic, how we are going to see innovation or incorporation? And another example I want to talk about that already I was talking about waterless urinals, and there is a nozzle. Yeah, in last time I was talking about that particular nozzle. See, we all aware of that particular topic. When we wash the dishes, we waste so much of water. But what about the countries where water is something premium, where water is a very shortage? Of course, India is not too far. We also going to face that problems. Fortunately, this year there is a good rain. But if you want to address the water issues, they think a nozzle could be a good start. Yeah, this is a nozzle they are going to use for dishwashing, washing thing, and another one is about bathing. Yeah, that nozzle is going to save liters of water. They just used the technology that is going to cut down the water usage, whatever we are using. Yeah, so that's another intervention. And let me tell you about the topsoil. Yeah, it's called pellet technology. If we look at any tree, any big tree, it's going to just take nutrients from first 12 inches of the soil. This is what most of the scientists actually fight for. So unfortunately, due to floods and everything, every time we lose that first 12 inches of the soil. Then there are few scientists, they including one of our professors, also well-known professors, Dr. Hafiz Basha. He worked on the pellet technology. He was working for that pellet technology for I think energy industry, but there are other scientists who are working for the soil. See, the plants are the biomass. They have nutrients. Yeah, when they have the nutrients, these nutrients are going to, again, we need to give it back to the soil. So there should be a particular compositions we need to do that. So there are few scientists, actually they identify the compositions of biomass which can be used as a topsoil for the plant. And another one, it made you maybe feel a little shy, but human urine as a fertilizer or pesticide. There is a scientist from, there is a enthusiastic guy from Pune. He's working on human urine, how human urine is going to become a potential nutrient supplement for the plants. See, already there are several research on cow urine, but he's working on human urine. So like that, man, it's unlimited possibilities. We don't know what is the next innovation in 21st century. So when it comes to tharunam, we want make, this is our innovation. We want to make people to realize the opportunities while knowing about their food, while knowing about their nature. That's what. So thank you, sir. I'm done. I'm happy to answer a few questions, if any.
Guys, like if you have any queries regarding this agro innovations,
yeah,
you can carry on with your questions.
Please, and I would like to listen any feedback also. Something feedback. So can I screen share something?
Yes, please.
Yeah, please. Okay, so you guys don't have, yeah, please, somebody raised the hand. So who is that?
Vishal, sorry, like just a minute. I would like to unmute everyone. Yes, guys, you can unmute yourself right now and ask the questions.
Please, yeah, one by one.
I would like to know the motivation behind this thing. I searched for Tharunam company Google and got to know so many things about this training and schools, so many things. I just want to know things startup in my own. It's motivated.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you. Thanks for the question. The key was, the simple answer is like, I come from a farmer family, and I studied as an electrical engineer, and I saw what are the difficulties in agriculture, and I started realizing, I started breaking like what is the causes of that particular crisis. Then there are few incidents in my life which made me to start Tarnam. The first one is about, see, there is a one of my friend, he used, when I was proposing for food literacy for everyone, he asked me that, he was the motivation behind me. He asked me that, Naresh, are we forcing the same generation, our next generation, to become a farmer? ఆయన నాతో అన్న మాట ఏంటంటే, are we forcing our next generation also to become a farmer? So that is a valid question. Then I thought, food literacy shouldn't only stick with only growing food. It has more power to do. Then I think, already people from the villages like all of us, we are now have a knowledge about food and how to grow the food. So what we can do is we can add value addition for that particular food, or what we can do is we can do some innovation out of that particular food. So that is one motivation behind us to develop several curriculums. But for starting Tarunam, it's only one reason is to see, I don't want to see farmer to commit suicide anymore. Yeah, that was the motivation.
Okay, sir. Another question.
Yeah. Please.
So organic farming, that some I read in newspapers and media. So what type of
I cannot hear you well. Could you rephrase ask the question again, please?
Techniques right now? That's most thing now. So many are doing it.
Yeah.
So what else doing? What kind of farming you are using?
You are asking me like what type of farming I am proposing. So I was already telling, we are promoting agroforestry, where we are going to encourage people to grow diversity of food. It's not only monocrop. Let's people to grow diversified food. When we have a diversified food in the field, automatically that will reflect in our natural landscapes. So agroforestry is one, and another one we want to promote millets. These two are the primary farming side task we taken. So within agroforestry, we can grow big trees like mango. Under that we can grow banana. Under that we can grow bushes like red chili, green chili, or we can grow some root based food like turmeric, and we can grow some spices creeper. So here we are 5 to 6 type of food we are encouraging farmer to grow. So here I want to tell you one more point how this model is sustainable. Just imagine if there is some hailstorm rain. Yeah, hailstorm rain, when there is a hailstorm rain, these big trees will affect more. But the trees or the plants which under these trees are not going to affect that much. But when just imagine if there is a flood situation, the medium level, not medium, the grassroot, the root based food are going to affect more. But other plants are not going to affect that much. So it is a self-sustainable model for farmer, and carbon, we are going to observe the carbon footprint as well. Yeah.
I have another question. Are you using some talk with the other?
No, bro, I cannot hear. No, I cannot hear you. Sir, could you just let me know like what is this question is, please?
Yeah.
Like Vishal, could you please type your question in the chat box?
Yeah.
It is not.
If you're using mobile, it will be in top of your. If you are using computer, something like that, it will be at right side.
It's not visible, sir. Only.
Okay, now you are clear. Please ask your question.
Yeah. అంటే తెలుగులో అడుగుతాను.
Please.
మనము కప్పలు చేస్తే అక్కడ మనం వరి పంటలో ఫిషెస్ యూస్ చేసినప్పుడు దాని మ్యాన్యుఫ్యాక్చర్ చేసుకుంటూ ఫెర్టిలైజర్ గా యూజ్ అవుతుంది, ప్లస్ కొన్ని పెస్ట్లు వాటిని కూడా అవి తింటాయి కదా, అంటే సింబయోసిస్ లాగా అనిపిస్తుంది కదా. అలాగే ఈ ఫీల్డ్ లో కూడా మీరు చెప్పారు కదా, సో ఒక్కొక్క ప్లాంట్ ఇంకొక దాన్ని ఎంపవర్ చేస్తూ న్యూట్రిషన్ షేర్ చేసుకుంటూ ఉంటాయి కదా. మనం అట్లాగే ఇక్కడ some animals.
So here the role of engineer, the engineers, మనం ఇంజనీర్ గా ఉండి మనం ఓన్లీ మోనోక్రాప్ టెక్నాలజీ తయారు చేస్తే nobody will come forward for diversified food. సో అదే చెప్తున్నాను నేను ఇప్పుడు, if there is rice field along with the fish, మనము ఇండోనేషియా కానీ ఫిలిపైన్స్ చూస్తే there is a very జుగాడ్ మంచి మంచి ఇన్నోవేషన్స్ ఉన్నాయి అటువంటి చేయడానికి మోటివేషన్ ఇవ్వడానికి. ఇప్పుడు just say you or I started within our community, we don't have that ecosystem, and there is no one is going to support us, there is no engineer is going to support us, there is no other farmer is going to support us, so we won't come forward to experiment anything. So ఇక్కడ engineers role ఎలా ఉండాలి అంటే we should enable that ecosystem by developing the technology. Until unless we stick with only monocropic thinking and monocropic way of developing the technology, it won't come. So andukane I was telling the examples, a simple ideas about food and farming, how it enabled new opportunities for few people. Definitely it will enable further opportunities for many people. Who knows that? We see how many culinary we are eating, ఎన్ని రకాల వంటలు తింటున్నాం, మరి అయితే 100, more than 150. But just imagine that 30,000 edible plants are going to become a 30,000 culinary itself, and the permutations and combination of 30,000 is going to have become how many food items it's going to become. So just cross the fingers to wish for best how it's going to happen.
ఇంకొక క్వశ్చన్ కూడా ఉంది.
There is another guy is raising hand, Funny Kiran. So
sir,
please.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are.
I'm attending this class for good information, sir. Thanks for giving good information for against food.
Thank you.
తెలుగులో క్వశ్చన్ అడుగుతాం సార్ మామూలుగా.
ప్లీజ్.
ఇప్పుడున్న సమాజంలో మొత్తం హైబ్రిడ్ ఫ్రూట్స్, హైబ్రిడ్ వెజిటేబుల్ ఉన్నాయి కదా సార్. నేచురల్ ఫుడ్, నేచురల్ దానికి ఉన్న టేస్ట్ దీనికి రావట్లేదు సార్. నేచురల్ రావాలంటే ఏం చేయాలి సార్? మనం అసలు మీరు ఏం చేద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నారు దానికి?
Okay, let me just put that point. Okati manam we have to understand the difference between hybrid and genetically modified. Hybrid anedi, see, when two plants is cross pollinate, they will choose the next one. They will decide what third should come. So that is a hybrid. But genetically modified is something we are actually controlling their genetics. So let me come to the question, your question. So how could we bring that natural taste to the fruits and kada? So here mango is best example. When we do that cross grafting and cross pollinate cheste, we are getting the characteristics of both the things. So see, that's something we need to do. Experiment should always there. Manam experiment aapedi kaadu, but if you want to get the natural taste of any aroma of any food, it depends on the natural fertilizer and natural pesticides. That's it. Natural
సార్ ఇంకో క్వశ్చన్ సార్.
ప్లీజ్.
చాలా రోజుల నుంచి రైతులకి చేసిన అంత డబ్బు రావట్లేదు సార్. దేని వల్ల అంటారు సార్? మామూలుగా అంటే ఇప్పుడు రైతులు పండిస్తారు కదా సార్.
పాలసీ, ఇట్స్ a policy problems. It's not only that. So see, let me tell you. Yeah.
ఎక్కడ చూసాం సార్ ఇప్పుడు రైతులకి ఇది వెజిటేబుల్స్ ఎక్కడ చూసాం సరే రేట్లు మొత్తం తక్కువ ఉంటున్నాయి సార్. రైతుల దగ్గర తక్కువ తీసుకుని ఇలా ఎక్కువ అమ్ముతున్నారు. దీనివల్ల రైతులు ఇబ్బంది పడుతున్నారు కదా సార్.
Yeah, exactly, you're touching the point. This is what I want to put that another point. Tomato ఉంది. Yeah, tomato మొన్నట్లో ₹1 ₹1 వచ్చేసింది. But the fact is like there is a huge demand for dry tomato in European countries. But how many of our farmers are aware of that technology? And how many technologies are available for that farmer? Yeah, see here I'm very happy you guys know the problems. We all know the problems because we come from farmer families or we come from the village areas. But what is lacking is how much time, what are the efforts we are putting to bring new supportive for farmer. That's it. Yeah. Hope I understood, answered your question. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, please.
మీరు తరుణం చోట్ల కూడా చేస్తే పంట బాగా పండిద్ది, ప్లస్ ఆర్గానిక్ చేస్తున్నాం కాబట్టి హెల్త్ కూడా బెనిఫిట్స్ వస్తాయి.
Yeah. So actually I missed part of your question and sorry, it was not audible in beginning. So could you type it or could you write it somewhere? So
మీరు ఎక్స్పాండ్ చేయండి. త్వరగా ఎక్స్పాండ్.
Sir, only I can hear the word expand. Other than that, I cannot relate with any word. So I couldn't answer you, brother.
So big.
So see here, it is a big one. See, it is a opportunity creator for almost half of the world. So one person cannot actually change entire thing. There is definitely thousands of people, lakhs of people in this field, and we are actually bringing different type of people for that particular cause. As an engineer, I am requesting fellow engineers to develop technology for sustainable farming. And I hope you got my point. So the main agenda objective of our session is to encourage fellow engineers to understand what farmers are facing and what are the potential technologies may come and what are the potential requirements of the technologies. Yeah.
Okay, sir. I am an easy develop some technology.
Please, thank you. I'm glad. We are glad. Anyone, please? Yeah. So guys, any other questions? No? So then let me just put the last point of winding up by just reminding you what we talked, because it's a very simple topic, how agro innovation is going to happen through food literacy skill. So let me just come from the beginning. Again, 21st century is all about rapid people behavioral changes. Nobody is going to understand how much fast our behaviors are going to change due to available technologies or due to so many worlds we are living, spiritual, virtual, physical, interplanetary world. So don't lose your hope about engineering, because how much complex the world became, that many opportunities we are going to see. That's the first outcome of our lecture today. And number two, when you want to understand in the people behaviors, please be understand about other subject too. It's not just stick with, if you are from electronics or electrical or computer science, don't stick with only particular subject. Please be understand what is happening in the society. So according to that social behaviors, you may get ideas, you may get innovations. So that's another one. And third, we discussed about the I3 tool, which is developed by us, intervention, innovation, incorporation. So just please be aware of what are the interventions societies, what is the interventions are happening in the society. For example, maybe when it comes to the place where your college located, there is a huge issue with the water contamination through amino acids. Yeah, probably that is the intervention people want. They don't want to waste their fresh waters. So people are advocating for fresh water, clean water. Your innovation may come to address that problem, and someone or someone is going to commercialize and incorporate that idea. So I3 tool is a very helpful tool. Please be keep that in mind: intervention, innovation, and incorporation. And another part, we at Tharunam, we are intervention organization. We want social change. We want to advocate for social change through food as a medium, and whatever the food we grow in our plate is going to reflect on our landscape. If we just started eating 1 to 2 type of food, definitely our plants are going to see with 1 or 2. You just see, if we have a plate with rice, there is only rice fields. Just imagine if there is some mango chutney, something, there's some mango trees you can see. So our food is going to decide what we are going to see in this planet. So that's another point, short point we want to say about Tharunam. And we using food as a medium for social change to address tribal conflict or peace resolution issues in India. And we want to create awareness among engineers by putting our problems, farmers' problems with them, and make them to understand and make any innovation for them. And number 4, I want to clearly talk about, I was talking about few case studies, how few innovations actually changing the entire value chains. So please be aware, we have enough foods for enough people, but we don't have enough ecosystem to enable all the food. So please do enable that ecosystem. We need everyone in that. We need people for, we all need, our responsibility is to enable that ecosystem. So we have to do that. And finally, just I want to conclude by saying that just please have a diversified food is one. And number 2, please consider how people are going to interact with environment. So billions of people are going to interact with billions of natural elements. So we don't know what is the combinations or what are the permutations, what are the next innovations or next unicorns are going to evolve from ourselves. So just I want to conclude by saying that have a healthy food today. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thanks for the opportunity again. And I really happy. Yeah. And I hope you guys enjoyed my session too.
Yes, actually, like it's a pleasure that you have shared many more insights. So
I think I
mostly like on behalf of our Vishnu of Technology, Institutions Innovation Council and Innovation Entrepreneurship Development Cell. And this program has been organized by Information Technology Department. And I hope you know the Professor Shri Lakshmi ma'am is heading the department right now. And
last time I was there and I visited her.
Yes, exactly. And she asked you to convey her best wishes. And we are like, I hope that with our students and VIT, we will be with this Tharunam organization mission to participate.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
And thank you for sharing your 3I tool.
I3 tool,
incorporation, which is very much needed in this present scenario, in this complex world where we can find many more opportunities.
Yeah.
And like we had for your information, the students, like we have
Yeah.
interacted many more times within a month. 2 or 3 times we interacted with the Shri Naresh Reddy for discussing about many things about innovations in agriculture and farming technologies. And we also discussed with about many policies designed by. And I feel that like personally, he's a very great man and a very simple man, with having a very vast knowledge about the concern about the world, environment, climate, and food change. That is what his mission and his ambition too, as he's a graduate from engineering student, but he's looking in the different direction to provide some sort of insights to the young generation like you guys, like the VIT students and other participants. So we required this type of mindset to develop our nation as well as the world. And with this, from my bottom of my heart, I would like to thank you very much for your time, for sharing the excellent insights
Yes,
to
sir. Thank you.
cultivate the mindset of the students
Yeah.
towards these agro innovations.
Yes, sir. And last point I just want to make, and never lose hope about engineering, guys. Really, really never lose hope about. There are many people to say there is no opportunities in engineering. The key is understand where society, how society is thinking, what is the behavior of the society. Definitely we'll find our own innovation in that domain. Yeah. That's the last point, sir. I want to make.
Yes. So once again, behalf of Vishnu of Technology, iEDC and IAC and
Yes, sir.
Department of IT, I would like to thank you. And I would like our management, the behind the scene, our director and principal, Dr. D. Surnarayan Garu, who has really encouraging this initiative as VITe Talks with like you guys, visionary, innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship talks. And thank you very much, Madam HOD, like Professor Sri Lakshmi Ma'am from Department of IT for organizing this event. And also I would like to thank Mr. Sastry, so who could able to turn up for nearly up to 250 participants for this program, to attend this program.
I'm glad, sir. I'm glad to interact with so many people. Really,
Yes,
really, I'm
yes.
glad.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Thank you, Sastry, for arranging this session with the huge
Thank you,
participants,
sir.
the faculty
Yeah.
and students. With this, I would like to conclude this session with thanks from Vishnu of Technology. Thank you, Naresh.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, dear participants, please fill up the feedback form which is in the chat box. If you can't able to find it out, no issues. We will forward to your groups.